A motion to reconvene to open session, please.
Something big.
Motion by member Hildenberg, second by member Ridley. All in favor? Aye. 4-0. All right, please join us in the pledge of allegiance, which will be led by member Ridley.
Would you please stand?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The announcements of actions taken in closed session, the board did not take any action tonight. Item number 9, we have some special recognition and presentation. First one is the Technic Tigers and Team Taco robotic team from Northern Elementary School. Ms. Gilmer?
We're very happy that this year we have 2 Longden First Lego League teams, and the first team is going to come and present their project, the Technic Tigers.
So everybody can see you kind of.
Our team's research specialist helped me improve the way kindergartners in overcrowded classrooms learn reading, writing, and counting. In discussing potential research topics, we found that school districts nationwide have been increasing their class sizes in order to save their budget. The impact is worst felt in the youngest of students, kindergartners, where the basics of academic skills such as reading, writing, and math are taught. For many, this is also their first classroom experience where they learn classroom behavior and interactions.
In overcrowded classroom, frustrations are high for both the teacher and students. The teacher struggles to meet the needs of each and every student during class time, and students who fight for the teacher's attention learn that misbehavior gets them the quickest reward. As a result, significant time spent on managing classroom interruptions instead of classroom discussion. In 1990, the state of Tennessee's Project STAR, a 4-year study which followed 12,000 students, found that children in overcrowded classrooms have lower academic scores even many years later.
Teaching in a large classroom is physically and mentally exhausting for teachers. Not being able to meet the needs of students creates stress and job dissatisfaction. Students are also stressed from the chaos of too many of them fighting for the teacher's attention, anxious and angry from the constant classroom disruption. Young students in kindergarten are not able to receive enough time to establish a relationship where they can feel safe in the classroom. Teachers don't have enough time to give individual attention to students during small group time as the group size increases. Current solution to the problem is class size reduction, which have not given the desired results so far. States like California have passed laws requiring school districts to cap class enrollment, but districts are struggling to create new classrooms that quality teachers. This resulted in unqualified teaching staff is being hired to teach related classrooms. Some cities rezone their districts to spread students to surrounding schools. Parents don't like the solution because their children have to go to schools outside of their community. Our team has come up with a solution to this problem. Introducing Claire, Classroom Artificial Intelligent Robot Educator. She's a humanoid-looking robot with artificial intelligence software that gives her the ability to interact with children. Claire will overload teachers by allowing students while human counterparts hold and small group time. Her AI gives her emotional capabilities to be gentle and patient when encouraging young students who are learning to count. She can read stories and hold discussions to encourage literary skills. She can model the teacher's instructions and also assist in classroom management. Equipped with voice and face recognition, Claire can be invaluable research for both the teacher and student. To manufacture Claire, engineers will utilize the latest AI technology and a humanoid-looking robot. The robot frame will cost $10K. The AI software will cost $20K. The cost of Claire will reduce substantially with wider adoption of this technology. In our research, we read 3 books, 6 newspaper articles, almost 2 industry journals, and 3 technical papers. Earned on AI, technology, and problems in overcrowded classrooms. And we also interviewed an education expert to get our input. In summary, our team focuses in deploying Claire in overcrowded classrooms to help kindergartners learn reading, writing, and counting. She is capable of interacting with children, encouraging them along in their learning. Thank you for your attention. We would like to present our team
We're the Technic Tigers. We love building and programming robots. We research learning and education. We come together. We have funding in FLL. We're the Technic Tigers. 317 is our awesome team.
Okay, now we'd like to have Team Taco come up and present their project.
Our research question is, how can we help middle school students learn school curriculum, especially science, in a more interactive and engaging way? The most recent standardized test in California for 8th graders revealed only 62% were proficient in science. A study by the University of California, Berkeley, found that students often begin to lose interest in science in middle school that persists through high school. This prevents many great students from pursuing careers in science and engineering.
There was an urgent need to improve science and math education in the U.S. where greater innovation and scientific know-how in the workforce are required to assume economic leadership. Strong science education calls for more student engagement in science to maintain students' interests.
In 2011, the statewide science education survey of middle school teachers found that the current most common method of science instruction is through reading textbooks and answering worksheet questions. Our education expert, Mr. Warren, a 20-year middle school science teacher, agreed that this is not the best way to engage with students in science. For successful learning, students need to engage in 3 ways: auditory, hands-on, and sight. In 2014, a study by the Gates Foundation found that middle school teachers have limited access to the high-quality digital instructional tools that they need. The report lists features of these resources include varying delivery of instruction, different learning experiences for individuals, interactive learning, and being able to support group work.
Our team has invented a solution to these problems, the Smart Desk. The Smart Desk is a student's desk with a holographic projector that can project 3D images, videos, and the lesson curriculum. Students can even interact with these holograms by making hand gestures in the air, which are picked up by sensors on the desk surface. Using these hand gestures, students can rotate the image, zoom in to look in the image at greater detail, and tap info bubbles to get a more detailed explanation of the lesson. Also, our desk software will adapt for different students' different learning styles. For example, for the auditory learner, text can be converted to sound with the touch of a button. Our desk will also come with individualized learning software, and which allows students to learn at their own pace. These features combined allow for a novel way of inquiry-based learning, which allows for more student engagement through the learning process.
To support student collaboration, the Smart Desk is never ever enclosed put inside a classroom, but in the world as authorized by the teacher station. These features allow students to be immersed in a multi-user virtual environment to increase the level of engagement in learning. The more engaged students are in the learning process, the more knowledge can get retained while learning. The Smart Desk is exactly the product that fills this need.
also fulfills the wish list from the GATE Foundation teacher survey and satisfies the three methods of successful learning.
In a classroom equipped with smart desks, instead of passively listening to the teacher lecturing, students will be actively interacting with a hologram that both captures their imagination and prompts them to explore farther into the subject. Teachers will also get more tools to make lessons to make them more effective and immersive. Gone are the days when science classes spent filling in worksheets and looking through textbooks.
Integrating various interactive features into the Smart Desk for educational use is a new invention. Considering the cost of all the components, the Smart Desk will cost about $8,000 to manufacture. So we expect the price to go down 75% for one adoption of this product. In the course of our research, we read 1 book, 5 newspaper articles, 3 industry journals, and 2 study reports on the problems in science and education, and the need for effective instructional technology in science. We interviewed 2 education experts who reviewed our innovative solution to the problem. In conclusion, our team has invented a solution to all of these problems, the Smart List. It has interactive features to engage the student for longer knowledge retention. We thank you for your time.
Three, 2, 1, go.
We are the taco building and programming, awesome and cool robots, having fun as a team. We are the technically awesome, creative organization. We research and education. We are Team 3116.
Now we're going, the teams are going to just show you what the robots, exactly what the robots can do, just a little show, the robots they've built and what they can do.
Yeah, so why don't you do it like right here, right?
Make it easier to go we made a light bulb. Alright, so we made a light bulb. Well, it uses the sensor. It uses the sensor on the side, which and it detects distance. It's an ultrasound sensor, so it sees how far it is away from the wall, and depending on that number, it'll go closer to the wall or farther from the wall.
It's kind of like echolocation of gases.
But it's robot. We actually, it's funny, we actually call it that blood. Alright. So this, no. So it automatically corrects, that way it follows the line at a safe distance. Oh no, stop it. Now we got psyched out. We got psyched out.
Because it stopped following the wall, so
Yeah.
so we can mess it up like this. We're gonna keep going.
Nope. You can't.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
It follows the wall.
Alright, stop it. Okay, then you follow the wall. Alright, now we're gonna show you how our thing shoot a ball. So something to our Alright, let it go show.
And I want you to know, they program their robots totally with the computer and.
Next to Alright, so we have 2 motors.
Okay, good job. Okay, let's roll through it.
We don't need this.
Okay, just put it down.
Okay, so this is one of our programs.
Smart tooth is on the rug. Usually they're on a table. It has lines. Rates and they do compete in the tournaments and everything, and I think that
So the presentations they just made are ones they developed for their upcoming qualifier tournament, which is going to be in La Cañada. It's going to be November, correct me if I'm wrong, 22nd and 23rd, which is a Saturday and Sunday. If I remember right, the girls are going first?
Saturday.
Okay,
Yes.
the girls are on Saturday and the boys team's on Sunday. So the best time to catch that, it actually starts, the practice rounds start at 9 a.m. and I think the last competition rounds stop around 2:30. So you come somewhere around that time, you can see our teams compete. So they're quite excited about it, and if they do really well, then there's a championship tournament later in December. And we'll keep you informed of what happens. Thank you so much.
You know, I'd like to make the observation that I'm really impressed with all of your presentation skills. I thought you did an excellent job. And I'm curious, I'd like to ask, are there any plans or hopes in the future to build a prototype of your two very significant ideas?
FLL offers that if you want, you can ask them for a $10,000 grant to try to help make your idea become real.
You both have really excellent ideas, and I'm really impressed with the thought and the creativity and all the work you put into it. So we wish you the best of luck in your coming competitions.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'd just like to thank a group of people. Both of the teams basically got their start with seed money from the Temple City School Foundation, which helped a lot, but it also took the support of the principal, the teachers, and dedicated classrooms so that they could have room to practice and to do this. And one of the things that is not really emphasized here, but this is only one part of the judging, and that's the oral presentation. This is, the robotics is a character building activity, because not only is there academics, but there's also the robot itself. So they learn how to do programming, they learn how to communicate, they learn how to solve problems and how to develop research. It's all around, it is something that helps, I think, the student, and hopefully will lean them towards engineering in the future at a four-year college. And I'd just like to thank the parents who helped take some of the kids to the tournaments, and all the other people that no one sees, but without their support, I don't think that the kids would have as much fun as they are. Thank you.
When I grow up, I do want to be an engineer. and that idea was just strengthened by robotics. Now I actually know how to do that sort of stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna keep my eyes dry here. I'm very impressed with all of you. Thank you so much for presenting to us. I know a couple of you refereed at least one of you in a soccer game. You know, it's great to see kids in our schools doing so many different things, you know, and but a program like this outside the school, but giving, or I should say outside of class, but giving them an opportunity to come together as a group and work on a group project. I mean, this is Common Core, you know, to which degree, I don't know, way up there, but a special recognition. I see a lot of Longden staff here today, and I'm really appreciative, not only of all of you in general, but for coming out to support this group, and of course Mr. Rudd and Nancy Long, great example for Longden, so thank you so much for that.
And I just want to echo my fellow board members here and their thoughts. I just find you students here amazing, and can't remember what I was doing, probably playing marbles when I was your age. But here you are doing robotics and doing all these neat and great things. And we're all very proud of you. We're very thankful to all the staff and the parents who are involved, and we continue to support and develop these great young minds. And we thank everybody and keep up the good work. And good luck at the tournament. And I look forward to seeing the Smart Desk and Claire in classrooms near you real soon. Thank you very much. Okay, the next item on our agenda, we have the Employees of the Year, because we're handing out awards tonight. All right. Camera shy.
And you know, I had promised them that they'd be up here with the board president.
I'm not.
You don't want to let anybody down, right? Last week, as October 30th, so it might have been 2 weeks ago, we had a very nice luncheon for our Employees of the Year. We honored our classified and our certificated Employees of the Year. We had a nice showing of individuals and a very nice time at lunch. We had our principals who were there to recognize all of the great work that our staff are doing, and much along the lines of seeing our Longden staff here supporting our students. We have teachers throughout this district who do that same thing day in and day out, and it's nice for us to be able to recognize them and their talents, as well as our classified staff who sometimes go unnoticed because their thing, a lot of what they do is behind the scenes. And we want to make sure that we acknowledge each and every one of our employees for all the wonderful things that they do. I will not be able to tell you whether or not everybody was able to make it today, but I'm going to call their names anyway just so that we are able to recognize them. I'm going to start with our classified staff. And our first one is Catherine Davis. Is she here? Catherine Davis? Next we have Cheryl Vigil. Mary Peterson. Because the board president was going to be here, right? You can stay up here so we can recognize all of our classified. Next we have Irene Perez. Jean St. Pierre. And when we do this in committee, or we select our district representative, classified employee of the year, and our district representative, I know we had to twist her arm to come to the luncheon, so I don't know if she's here today, but one of the things I shared is that she works in nutrition services, probably one of the more difficult jobs because students that's where they go to release their energy, and it's loud, and they're having fun, and you have to try and please them with the food that you're serving, and it's very hard to please thousands of students with just 2 or 3 meal options. But we wanted to recognize Maria Vasquez as our classified district employee of the year. But one more big round of applause for our classified folks. Thank you guys for being here. And now for our certificated, our teacher of the year presentations. First up, Helen Wong. Next we have Connie Granger. Next
next up is Reginald Rios. Reggie Rios. And we have two more, which I'm going to announce. They did tell me they were not going to be able to make it, and that is Natasha Newman and Vicki Lynn. Much the same as our district classified employee of the year. We do the same thing for our certificated. We select a district teacher of the year. And I actually got to sit in. I was not a voting member of the committee, but it was nice to sit in and watch the process go through. And it was very difficult for the team to come up with a district teacher of the year from all of our teachers of the year, because you are all so deserving. But our district teacher of the year, time in and time out, and I think one of the things that really stood true for this individual is his program tends to be a program that is cut when budget is less than favorable for districts. Many districts look to our arts programs to make some of their cuts. And this individual fights very hard for his program. He represents it very well. He is representing us in the Rose Parade with, 200 of our students this year. And this is the second time our district is being represented in the Rose Parade. So our district teacher of the year is Bert Perntile. And I know that I probably did not mention all those things, everything that happens. Bert, do you want to mention everything you do or no? No. Christy, do you want to mention everything Bert does?
No. I couldn't make the list.
But at least you invited her this time.
I know.
It was very nice. All right.
Thank you.
She didn't make it to the luncheon. She had no idea. It was the funniest thing. I thought, wow, I cannot believe Christy did not show up to her husband's luncheon. She was never invited. So,
thank you, dear.
Everybody, one more big round of applause for all of our teachers.
I know, well, exactly.
Again, thank you to all the teachers, and congratulations for such a wonderful job, and maybe more. Next we have TCUSD trip to China.
Good evening. First of all, I wanted to thank the board and thank Kathy for supporting us and taking this trip. We did have the district did pay for we paid for our substitutes, and the school from China paid for everything else. So that was an amazing trip, and we're going to show you a synopsis of what I have. If you'd like to see a longer version of this video, come to my principal coffee next Monday, and I'll show a little bit longer version. But due to time, this is our Reader's Digest version. We'll give you an idea of the school and the amazing presentations of our teachers, and the help we got from our teachers back home as the lesson we were teaching got changed at the last minute, and we were up late at night texting our teachers as they were waking up in the morning, and they all came through by sending us student work, and it was just an amazing experience overall. Where's the, you want to get the sound or the picture? We do have Michael in here, maybe. Yes, Mr. Chair. It is called family trip to Well, while that's copying, I'll introduce you to our teachers and our administrators that went to China with us. If you'd like to stand up, Team Beijing, we have Diana Lam, Karen Chang, Sister McClure, Kathy Doctor, Matt Byers. Matt, would you like the song my students made for their presentation? Nancy Hong, and of course Kate and I.
I think while we wait for this, for our students up front, it's being a school night and all, after the conclusion of this slideshow, you're free to go home and prepare for school and get ready for that school tomorrow.
Good year for us. That is really great. Oh, maybe two. She said. She must be Michael's age. You know what? No, she was guys in Dallas. How many years ago we do that? Maybe David was in that. No. Yeah, this is the last go round. I know. You know what? I can jump on my own. You have to start writing by now. Way much trouble, more trouble. I thought that was the
Well, now I'm just, you can't do just give me a paper. He said we've got to follow up. Take more phones. I'll talk. I will talk to my parents.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
And you should see their schedules too. Because they get some pictures. They get some pictures. They want some pictures. Same today. Or to, you don't pay that much. Come in, you have somebody come in. Yeah, it's like a then little bitty bowls have no food. So they have like store right on the every day. 1 to 2 hours later, and then everything at the end of the day. My dad. And it's like, first response, when the first response, my mom would do some that else. Especially if it's presentation.
All right.
That was our first time there.
How about that?
That was our arrival at the school. The elementary school, first or sixth grade. That's the school that remembers how it started.
Chelsea. I that's the principal. School's brand new. That's what they built.
This is our reception room. This is a big conference room. This first part is basically a tour of the school. That's one of their principals, their assistant principals. lessons were broadcast in 8 cities in China when they presented.
Stadium seating teachers that don't really need service while
This is a laboratory classroom. There's a whole set bank of theater seating behind it.
Oh, they have to give clues. I love that.
So they use this example to write sentences describing hens. So you can see that they're having. In this case, we're comparing 2 different characters from stories. So the pictures in the middle are from the story. We split it up into 4 parts: the inner core, the outer core, the mantle, and the crust. And then within the mantle, we have the cookie just predicting, so we don't know the effect, but we can predict what the effect might be. Describes change, identify views. And we are very excited and honored to share that experience with our Chinese colleagues.
The animal is so happy. I'm going to go on to this next page. This picture has all the animals that you have.
Gift for your school, one of them. This is a map of the United States.
那等一下呢，我们要跟大家来玩一个游戏，这是一个好玩的。每一个硬币都不一样的。
We had kids place state quarters on the map. We had 2 complete sets, and then after they placed them, we gave them another state quarter. So there's 50 kids there. No one got a duplicate. They all got different ones.
Oh, I like those hats. I like those hats.
Yes, they wanted autographs.
That is adorable.
That's their principal. That was our tour guide. She was with us pretty much the entire time.
Walking the wall.
any questions or any, do you like with Lori? You want to see a longer version, come to my principal copy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think before Team Beijing leaves, I just want to say thank you very much for representing our district, our city so well over there, and you guys did an awesome job. And you know, it's seen from here and from the videos how much great fun y'all had. And thank you again for representing us so well over there. All right, how are we going to top that? We won't be able to, but we will try. Item number 10, public comment on agendized and non-agendized items. I have one request from Dale Case dealing with the upcoming election.
I hate to change the note of the program, but some time ago I received a bulletin in the mail about different events upcoming in Temple City. There was an article in there about a number to call in case you had a question on the elections. And unfortunately, I was showing it to a friend and she asked, may I keep this? And I said, sure, she could keep it. When I got ready to call about the elections, I didn't have a number, so I went over to the city, to this office, and I asked, and they didn't know anything about it. The young woman that asked me, she talked to a friend, and she said she didn't know anything about it. She suggested I go to City Hall. And I said, well, it's not a city election, it's a Board of Education election. And she said, well, you could look through some bulletins over there. On the, but I said, well, don't you know anybody that I could get a number or anything to call? She said, no. She did, and I said, let me clarify. This is a Board of Education election. You don't know anything about it. You don't know anybody that I can call. And she says, that's correct. I'd like to know if the board is aware that your personnel don't know anything about the election or who someone could call to find out about it. Now, I'm from the corporate world, and this is not an appropriate response. In the corporate world, you don't say, I don't know well, you say, I'll find out.
Thank you. Go on to our next item on the agenda, updates on the district issues, business services. Marianne?
No report tonight.
Thank you. Instructional services, Kate?
Yes, wanted to let you know that Dr. McGuire did a fantastic job holding our first supplemental educational support fair. I mentioned to you before that it was held at Oak Avenue. We had 107 students sign up for tutoring, which leaves us 93 students remaining for round 2. And so we kick off round 2 in December, and then we'll hold another parent fair in January at Oak. Thank you.
Thank you. Personnel services, Art?
Nothing to report.
Thank you. Next, bargaining units, TCEA, Deb?
No.
Thank you. CSEA 105, Robin? All right, CSEA 823, David. All right, student board member comment.
It's a pretty quiet month at the high school. We have musical auditions next week,
and Dragonflix had their talent show November 4th. Although it's quiet for some of us, it's not so quiet for Dan Auxiliaries. They've so far, this month alone, they've gone to the La Palma Parade, the Los Altos Field Tournament, the Sierra Vista Field Tournament, and next Saturday they'll be going to the Arcadia, or this Saturday, sorry, they'll be going to the Arcadia Band Review. The high school also has our canned food drive going on right now. And Longden has one at this time, as well as, I know Longden has a canned food drive going on right now, and I think, is it La Rosa or Cloverleaf has a canned food drive. And then Oak is having a Seas Candy fundraiser, and Oak has their parent-teacher conferences next week. So they will be having minimum days for their parent-teacher conferences. And I think that's it. So thank you.
Thank you, Annika. Next, we have board member comments. We'll start with Member Nolenberg.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the presentations for the robots today, and also the Employees of the Year awards, and the trip to China. Also the ASB meeting we had prior to this, very informative. A couple of just general comments on the robotics. I think people don't understand how much depth is involved in the robotics program. Hopefully it will spread to other schools, but it's already at Oak now. One of the people there is taking it on. And one of the things that always helped was to have somebody, in this case the school foundation, to be able to give seed money to help the program start and to pay for some of the costs. I think that's one of the reasons why the program is blossoming as it is. Plus the two coaches for the robotics team, one of them happens to be from Caltech and the other one happens to be from JPL, which is a nice parent involvement, but it gives us access to other institutions to be able to learn about this. And the last thing is I'd just like to thank everybody and hope everybody has a nice Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Mr. Whitman.
Thank you. I'd also like to recognize the great presentations we had. They were very impressive. Also, I'd like to apologize to ASB. I wasn't able to make tonight's meetings before this meeting, and I hate to miss those, but sometimes you don't have a choice. Tonight I didn't have a choice. Lastly, I'd just like to comment, maybe the gentleman would care to speak with our superintendent after the meeting about the election information. I'm not sure what is desired, but we had an election a year ago. We'll have another election next year. We vote every 2 years for the school board at Temple City Unified School District. And I'm sure if there's some historical information you'd like or prospective information, we could certainly have someone provide that too. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Palmer.
I enjoyed a lot the joint ASB meeting we had earlier this evening, and it's good to see that the spirit of Temple City is alive and well in our current high school leaders. And as I told them, we're in a spot here where none of our board members here have children in the high school. That'll change for me next year when I will, so I'm looking forward to the future, and it inspires all of us as we go through, the agenda reports about the bond money and all the numbers and all the drawings and all these things to see, who we're doing it for and what we're doing it for. And so it's inspiring to have that meeting. And on a somewhat related note, I attended, I guess it was last week, I attended a funeral service for a police officer, Officer Sean Diamond from Pomona Police Department, who was recently killed in the line of duty, actually. And it had been pointed out to me that he was a graduate of Temple City High School in 1987. So I attended that service for him, which was quite a large affair. And but what I took away from that is what I really look for in my own kids and in other people that I meet coming out of our schools, which is what kind of people are they? And I can tell you from the little bit that I learned about Officer Diamond through that service, because I did not know him personally, he was a very inquisitive person who was a lifelong learner. He was very devoted to service of the community, and he was a very caring person. He had given a kidney to his 13-year-old child when his child was very sick. So, and I've communicated this to our superintendent. To me, that just exemplifies, the types of character that we have been developing in Temple City over the years. Character education is not some brand new thing for us. It's been going on for a long time, and I appreciated that, especially that day, and appreciate that it still continues. And on behalf of Mr. Bell, he attended many, many events and put many, many hours of volunteer work since the last meeting. Because he's sick, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. And I'd just like to echo a couple of my colleagues' thoughts and comments regarding the presentations this evening and everything. And with respect to Officer Diamond, I understand that there is a fundraiser held on his behalf at the California Pizza Kitchen today and tomorrow. So I believe 20% of all of the check goes to an organization, and it will be right. And we need to have this flyer and this right here. You can take pictures of it on the iPhone or your smartphone, and I guess you present this to me working for those who are interested in going. But thank you, Annika, for setting up the ASB meeting. It was very, very, very fun as usual and very informative. And one more comment to what Mr. Ridley said about the voting issue. You can go to lavote.net, and that's where we can get all the information on the current election as well as upcoming elections. I think we won't have another meeting until December, so wish everyone a happy and safe Thanksgiving and Gala. Ms. Brady.
Thank you, Gobbler. Last week, a number of us attended the Green Schools and Community Summit and came away with some great ideas going forward that we can share in regards to some of the good work that we're doing in improving our facilities and maximizing our dollars. So we'll be coming back and sharing some of that information publicly. I too enjoyed our time with ASB this evening, and I think it's important to note whether it's robotics, ASB, performing arts, all the wonderful things that go on in this district. It really is predicated by the fine work of our staff, our parents, and our community at large. So I just appreciate these opportunities and an opportunity to say thank you.
Okay, written communications? No, we do not receive any. On to the discussion information items. Items that the board would like to discuss or information presented to the board. These items do not require board action. So item 17 is the logo control accountability plan update. Kate.
Yes, thank you. We wanted to provide an update of how we are meeting action items that we laid out in our LCAP plan. Last June, you'll recall that our plan was approved. Based on 23 input meetings, we had developed some action steps, and so we would just wanted to provide an update of what has occurred since July until now. You'll recall that we have two levels of expenditures. Item A represents all students, and when you get to the slides that show item B, that would represent our targeted youth, our foster students, our EL students, and our at-risk students. So this slide here is talking about level 1, conditions of learning, and we had set aside the action step of teacher retention, which we have retained our teachers. We also set aside some money as an action step for NCLB, that is meeting certification. We do have one teacher at the high school level who's in special education. He holds a credential from another state, I believe it's Texas, and so he's working on California subject matter, but he does hold a credential. And so we'll have more at the end of the year to share with you on how we have supported those efforts. As far as facilities are concerned, we have addressed identified facility needs since July. Ms. Perini and now Art Kuna have done a fantastic job in meeting the demands and the needs of the sites. Instructional materials, you've heard us talk about our math pilot that's in progress. And at the K-6 level, they are piloting 3 different sets of materials from 3 vendors. And Dr. Gary McGuire is facilitating that pilot, and we hope that we will have some progress by the end of the year so that we can go back to the board and let you know what the status is and we're ready to move forward with the math adoption. As well as STAR 360 is something that we're adding into our repertoire, which will allow us to have benchmarks in math and English and early literacy. For courses and extension activities, we have looked at fulfilling that action step with a RAMS teacher at the high school. You might have heard us talk before about Mr. Evan Dagger and his efforts as he's supporting the students and facilitating at-risk students with additional learning time. And then summer institutes, we held the UCLA Math Institute in which 27 participants joined us in August. Here we have the same goal, but now we're focused on targeted students. And so we had set aside monies to hire new teachers, in which we did. The second action step dealt with BITSA as we prepare our newest teachers in year 1 and year 2 of teaching to understand how to teach at-risk students, EL and foster students. And what we did this year in the absence of Dr. Vicki Park is we hired a liaison, Monica Rodriguez, and we're paying her a stipend of $5,000. Increased technology support, we're still working on that area, and so more to come on that. If you take a look at goal 2 then, the state asked us to identify pupil outcomes. And so again, A, expenditures, what have we done in professional development? We had set aside monies to assist with professional development, and so far we have several workshops that folks have taken advantage of. One of them is the ELA ELD Framework Workshop that's going to be held in San Diego in December. And then over the summer there was the UCLA Principals Academy, in which one of our newer administrators attended. We also solidified a contract with EDAMS, which is now going to replace the old data director system, and so that's our data management system, and we're moving forward with that. Under goal 2 again, now for our targeted folks. We had summer school that occurred this last summer, and starting this June, you'll see that we're going to extend summer school. And so our goals for this year to extend elementary summer school by 1 week and offer 6 elementary proficiency classes going back to math and English classes at the elementary level. As well as at the secondary level, at the high school in particular, we're going to come back to the board either in December or January with a new class called ELD Level C. And that's going to be for academic credit. Right now, our English learner students attend summer school, but they receive elective credit called study skills. And this way that would help them learn more academic side of the house, as well as that account for high school graduation. English learner development, we've set aside trainings through LACO. We've completed 2 of our 3 training dates. The 3rd date is set for January. Under targeted instructional materials, again, that's in progress. We're looking at targeting specific materials that are going to help at-risk EL and foster. So we're going to extend our programs that we have in place, and right now we're researching options. One of them is called Reading Plus. Paraprofessionals, the great support staff that works in the Lit Lab, our ELD aides, and our RTI aides. We wanted to maintain that support, and so we're extending that by adding additional classroom aides that will be hired. And then at the high school level, we had an additional section or 2 of an ELD elective class so that our students can receive a double dose of English. Under goal 3, that's the engagement. Not only does it talk about student engagement, but it also speaks to parent engagement. You'll recall that we were looking at different options on improving marketing, Temple City, rebranding, and communicating ourselves, and so we're still researching options. Then we also set an action step about partnerships and outreach, and there was no dollar amount set aside for this because we felt this was something internal in which we really wanted to talk about the structure of how we do business. And we have had good fortune in working with 2 local colleges, Loyola Marymount University being one of them, who is supporting our beginning teachers with bits of units. And so based on the good work that they're doing over 2 years, they're able to earn units. There's no cost to the district, but if the teacher wanted to earn 3 units each year, then the teacher has that option of working through Loyola Marymount and paying a small sum of $255. UCLA math units as well for the good work of 18 hours that we put together starting in the summer, as well as cohort 2 and cohort 3. Our teachers can earn 1 unit semester credit to move them forward on the salary scale. And so we've worked with a collaborative partnership with both those universities. Then we have a PCC collaborative. We had a date set and then PCC needed to reschedule. And that's a discussion that's going to involve our secondary courses. As you heard one of the ASB students talk about the engineering design course that's being articulated or has been articulated with PCC. So students receive more than entry-level credit when they leave our high school and they go to PCC. They'll be in level 2 instead of level 1 courses for drafting and beginning engineering. And we want to continue that partnership and see what PCC can offer us in way of summer school options or anything else that they'd like to share with us. And then dual language immersion. We had our first dual language immersion think tank, so to speak, last week. There were about 7 of us that came to the table to talk about biliteracy and what that might mean for Temple City. And so we generated some great ideas. We captured all of that, and we're going to publish it. We can put it on our website so people can see what we've discussed as well. We can send it to you if you would like to see it. And we're looking at all options, and we decided that we would like to explore and visit a school in Glendale in January. So that's going to be one of our next steps, as well as reading an article on the pros and cons of dual language immersion. One suggestion that bubbled up from this think tank was maybe we also need to look at foreign language at the elementary level and maybe add extension classes either after school or during the day. And so we're still researching viable options, but it was really nice to have seven or so people come to the table with their ideas and their questions. Under goal 3 again for engagement, for our targeted population, translation services. Last year there was a need that was identified that we need to increase the amount of money in translations, especially in lieu of report cards and our curriculum guides that are now posted on our website. We also looked at 21st century teaching and learning, formerly known as GATE, and we said that we would have stipends put into place to help with developing lesson plans and students in robotics. And so in your comments, you'll see that since the high school is the largest campus, we decided to put 2 stipends at the high school level. And so $2,500 is towards the stipend and $2,500 towards the materials. And tonight you're being asked to approve the names of the teachers and the classified staff that are coming forward to support this initiative. The Parent Academies Coordinator, it's in progress. You had previously approved it, but we've added some more bullet items, and so we're resubmitting it to you tonight for approval. After we did a little more research and we looked at some other districts, we thought that we could make this even stronger and more robust. And then positive behavior intervention, that's in progress as well. We're researching options from Rachel's challenge to restorative justice. And there is a restorative justice workshop in February in which some of our administrators are planning to attend. And then the last one here is additional social, emotional, academic support. And we did hire a counselor and psychologist. So that's an overview of where we are with the LCAP. We know that the format is going to change this year. The state board is going to release a new template for us by January, and we know that the four of us on cabinet, that we are going to be attending several LCAP meetings so that we can learn about any changes and how we are to monitor this plan.
Thank you, Kate. I guess I'd like to request a copy of that, on that Google immersion study of the report.
Perfect, I'll send you the article and I'll send you our minutes from our meeting.
Great, thank you very much. Questions? Alex? Okay. All right, on to the discussion action agenda items. Items that may require discussion, but upon which the board is expected to take action during the meeting. Item number 18. We get a motion to approve donation of $5,000 to the Temple City High School Band and Pageantry Corp. To march in the 2015 Tournament Roses Parade.
So moved. Second.
Motion by member Ridley, second by member Mullenberg. Any questions or comments? No? All right, all in favor? Aye. 4-0. Next, can I get a motion to accept receipts of bids for the Cloverly Elementary School and La Rosa Elementary School interim housing projects and award contract to ABNY General Engineering Inc. in the amount of $151,000.
So moved.
Motion by member Ridley, second by member Millenberg. Any questions or comments? Yes,
I had a couple. I was a little unclear on the background analysis where it talks about the project includes building pad preparation, infrastructure. I don't know what's meant by infrastructure.
That would be basically just all the site utilities, the electrical, there's no water. They're basically just the electrical.
And then it talked about temporary interim portable classrooms to be installed by others. So this is preliminary work. The actual installation will be done by someone else.
Right, that went to board, I believe, in July for Mobile Modular to provide the links for the buildings.
Already in place.
Yes.
So this is kind of the beginning stage, so that it can be put in place.
Correct.
Thank you.
How long is the temporary housing gonna last?
About a year.
Okay, and then, what was the rationale, the difference between the top bid and the low bid is $100,000? Rather substantial amount of money.
It was a substantial amount of money, and we did do a post-bid interview with the low bid just to make sure that they had everything included, and they did. So other people were just high, and the time that we took, or it's going to take to do the project, it's kind of a fast project, and it's during the holiday, so contractors are going to go a little bit higher.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0. Next, item number 20. We get a motion to approve entering into an agreement with UCMI Inc. for DSA inspection services for La Rosa Elementary School and Cloverly Elementary School interim housing and modernization projects in the amount of $135,720.
So moved.
I'll second. Motion by member Ridley, second by member Tier. Any questions or comments?
I have a couple.
Go ahead.
Please. I was curious after reading the agenda report about, it states that the district issued a request for qualifications to local and qualified inspection firms, but it didn't tell us how many people we sent that out to. Do you remember how many we notified?
That was in 2012. I think there was 6 or 8.
Okay. And then it also states all RFQs were reviewed. Do you know how many came in and were reviewed? Again, I
That was
asked for
before.
that kind of information.
Yeah, that was before us.
Okay.
So we weren't involved in that.
Okay.
But there was two 2 firms selected in the pool for inspection services, and that's UCMI and TYR.
So if all this occurred prior to your involvement, did you go through a process to review the qualifications to make sure these are in fact still qualified firms?
We send them the plans once we need a new proposal for them for projects, for specific projects. We send the plans back out to them, and then we would ask for a resume for the inspector that they're proposing on, and then call their references also.
And so the reference checks have all come back, they're all good?
Yes.
And then
It's actually an inspector that we already used in the summer project.
familiar with. And I'm curious, just for my general understanding, how much time do they spend on the job? You know, it looks like the rate sets up for 8 hours a day. You know, sometimes there aren't construction activities that, you know, the contractors pull off the job for days. And are we paying them to be there, or are they only there when we need them?
Well, they're required to be there during any construction. But if for some reason, if a contractor pulls off, which we don't allow that, if they do, they only get paid for the time they're there.
So in other words, if we have horrible rain and so all construction comes to a halt for a week, then we're not paying for that week.
Correct. That just gets added to the end.
What gets added to the end?
That month or whatever occurred that they weren't getting paid,
Okay, so
that would
basically
just be moved over.
Okay, got it. Now, being that we did this pre-qualification back in August of 2012, we're now in 2014, going on 2015, would it serve us better to do the qualification process again, or how long is the pre-qual good for?
I actually did kind of look over all the pre-quals within the last month or so, because I didn't realize that they were old. So I did get with your legal counsel and asked them, I just wanted to make sure everything was still okay with the pre-quals that were already approved. And she said everything is fine until 2017, but the district does have the opportunity to do it again prior to that. So if we wanted to do a new pool, if we wanted to resubmit an RFQ, we could do the whole process over again, or we can continue the existing pool.
And what is the basis of this? I guess you just said it's good to 2017. Why is that, or how is that? Is that a contract?
From the way it was written, it was a five-year pool.
The way what it was written?
The RFQ.
Maybe if we can check if there's a cost to get the new RFQs out, or to get, yeah.
The only cost would be the advertisement.
What would that be?
I believe to run it once would be like $460.
Okay. All right.
But the RFQ's it's already written.
And then who would, then I guess TeleQ then would be the one, and that would be included in the contract that we already have with TeleQ?
Correct.
And this is not additional?
No.
Okay.
Even though the pool was done back in 2012, did you inherit or did we have the evaluation documents that somebody went through to establish the pool? Just for audit purposes?
I believe so.
All right, any other questions or comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0. Next. I need a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between the district and Temple City Education Association to compensate Nicole Archuleta Medina and Diana Lamb for the 2.5% bonus for 2013 to 2014.
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion by member Nolenberg, second by member Ridley. Any questions or comments? No? Okay, all in favor? Aye. 4-0. Next, can I get a motion to approve revised classified job description for district outreach liaison?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by member Palmer, second by member Nolenberg. Any questions or comments?
Is this job filled already?
No, it hasn't even flown. Once you guys approve the job description, then we'll go ahead and, we have to go to Personnel Commission to establish a salary, and then we'll apply the position.
Okay, and then when we put a requirement like they have to be bilingual, does that limit who can, since we specifically asked under knowledge and skills, number 10, that they speak 2 languages, English and Mandarin? Are we putting restrictions that we don't need to put on the job?
I don't necessarily know that we don't need them. This is a community outreach liaison, so since our community,
That's the only, that's the one that we.
predominantly we're trying to reach out to the community and speaking the language that they understand. So it might put limitations on us as far as the number of applicants, but it shouldn't put limitations on the number of qualified applicants.
Yes, Mr. Palmer?
Thank you. So after we approved the previous description, was that one flown or no?
No, we did not apply it, it was held. Reason being is that we still thought that there was more we could put into the job description, and what we ended up doing was really honing in on the community outreach aspect of it.
And we approved that before you were in your position?
Yes.
Right, okay. And so the changes are what's marked?
I through K, I mean, duties and tasks, the bold,
Thank you.
Yes.
The other thing, Mr. Palmer, that we wanted to do was in revisiting the job description, we realized that there were several goals going forward that we wanted to address as far as outreach. So we wanted to take the opportunity to not just have it be a parent academy piece, but a true outreach to give opportunities for us to reach families as well as a broader community base to improve our service model to the community.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's 4-0. Next, can I get a motion to receive for second reading and approve board policies?
So moved.
seconded.
Motion by member Nolenberg, second by member Ridley. Any questions or comments? I hear paper shuffling, but no.
You want a question?
No questions, no comments? Okay.
Come
then-
up with a question?
No.
I'll make an observation, there's a double negative in here. You may be a good lawyer, but the grammar's not so good.
Any slight infinitive? Any dangling participles?
Yeah.
No, it's good enough.
All right. That's it.
Okay, I'll ask,
You
I'll
want
ask
to
a
respond?
question. I'll ask a question.
All right.
Since you want a question, priorities for hiring based on unavailability of a credentialed teacher, has that really come up in the past?
But not at this time.
Thank you.
No, thank you. All in favor? Aye. It's 4-0. Next, can I get a motion to receive board policy 5127, graduation ceremonies for first reading, please?
So moved. Seconded.
Motion by member Nolenberg, second by member Ridley. Any questions or comments? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
4-0. On to the consent Agenda items, routine items approved by one motion and one vote unless a member of the board or audience requests that any item be reviewed and voted upon separately. Can I get a motion to approve consent agenda items, please? Motion by member Nolenberg, and I'll second it. Questions or comments? Yes, Mr. Nolenberg.
Yeah, just a comment, I'd like to thank the donation for the $20,000 that was made by one group for the Temple City Unified School District.
Okay, thank you for that group.
And, yeah, I thought it was a very sizable contribution. I don't know if there's a story behind it of who they are or why they wanted to make this donation. It's very generous. And I'd also like to acknowledge Emperor PTA that's making a sizable donation as well. And then, if I have the floor, I do have a few other questions. I see that we're approving the contract for Educators Assessment Data Management System, the EADMS, for the 14-15 school year. And I think based on the earlier presentation, my understanding is this is a new system. And I'd just like to understand a little bit more about it. I think we've had a couple different systems, and just wondering if we're eliminating the old systems and moving on with the new system, and kind of what that transition looks like.
I'm going to defer to Dr. McGuire since he's been handling the contract, if that's okay.
Technically, it's not really new. We've had it for over a year. When we had to get rid of Data Director, which was an old system, because it was no longer compatible with our Aries system. So we got a system that met our needs more fully with that. We're rolling it out more broadly now this year. The other thing that happened last year when you approved it with the renewal of the Aries contract, because they were partnering together. They found that the billing didn't work when Aries was taking care of the billing for EDOMS, so they ran a separate contract. So basically, it's continuing the contract we already had, and that's basically it.
So is this kind of best of breed, or what we believe best serves our needs and
yes.
Smooth transition?
It was
the right,
smooth
right way to go.
Yes, it was the right way to go. It's much easier to use than Data Director. It's more robust, but they're very, very responsive. I can call and get somebody within 30 seconds. Data Director might take an hour or more because it was a big multi-state environment.
Okay, thank you.
And it's $28,566.50. That's an annual contract.
Correct.
Okay. Yes, Bob.
And one more related to, there's a number of these in here, the CDE approved SES provider, 19 students requesting, 2 students requesting. Could you explain a little more about what this is that we're approving?
Dr. McGuire as well.
Because we're in year 2 of program improvement at 2 of our schools, just as we were last year, we're required to provide supplemental educational support programs. The process is basically the state requires that I send out a request or an invitation for providers that have been approved by the State Department of Education to join us for offering these services for our students. We do a winnowing process. I sent out 99 emails, got back about 40, and we got down to 10 or 12 providers that came to our provider fair that met our requirements for that. From the parents, we opened it up for parents at both of the schools to come and interview the people at the fair at Oakland. We had a huge turnout. I have a picture on my phone if you want to see it of how many people were there. They interviewed, and all of the providers said, your people ask better questions than any other district I know. I said, yeah, it's Temple City. What can I say? So they were very intent with that. The parents then made their choices of which provider they felt would best meet the needs of their children as they continue into the school year.
And I'm sorry, the piece that I'm still not really understanding is, like Club Z is dealing with 12 students. The Community College Foundation is 1 student. you know, it doesn't seem like it's a lot of students, so when you say we have 2 schools that are under this, I don't understand I guess the base that's being served by these activities.
So the base of students being served are those students that are most needy with English language arts or math. So I did a data run on the poorer students, the kids that need it the most. So those were the students that were invited to come. And now Club Z only has one. That means that out of the massive number of people there, that's all that chose it. And Club Z is not going to go broke because of that, because they serve other districts as well.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Thank you. And if I may have one question unrelated to this one, though. The North Star Business Services, the agreement for consultant services for public school business operations, what are we looking for under this contract?
I can respond to that, Mr. Ridley. As part of going forward in our contract, as we're reformatting business services as well as providing additional support to our new CBO, we're asking to engage the services of Steve Hodgson, who worked in the district a number of years ago, and was extremely successful for us, not only from a financial aspect, but also from a facilities aspect. So we're requesting that we have the opportunity to engage him in a contract to provide that level of support to our business services division.
Thank you. I just really wanted to understand what it is I'm approving here. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's 4-0. Okay, on to board request for information, agenda items. No? Okay, future agenda items. I don't know if this would be a board agenda or not, but I'd like to, I guess, look further into the redoing the request for the RFQs, request for qualification.
The inspection firm?
Yeah, for the inspection firms. And I guess going back and looking at all the RFQs that we've done for basically everybody else and kind of getting it back, keeping it up to date. I think 2 years might be a little far out, especially if we only have 2 qualified firms. Maybe we might want to redo that. Okay. You want to make a motion to adjourn?
Yeah, I make a motion we adjourn in the memory of, what is it, Sergeant Diamond? Officer Diamond.
And I will second that motion. It's a motion by Member Nolan, second by Member Tias. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.